everybody. Today we're going to try to quantify this thing of self-care and how one progresses. So often people are looking for what they or how they're progressing and what they're accomplishing. But again, this is something kind of tricky to point out very easily because again, the growth is going to be happening in an area that they're not necessarily conscious of, especially at the beginning. As they go through the process, they'll be easier able to see where the growth is happening. So then how can we kind of quantify as professionals or as clients our growth in some kind of monitoring way? The only thing that I could come up to possibly shed a little bit of light on that is that the amount that a person will kind of sacrifice what they have for their heart is to the degree in which that they have achieved a level of self-care. And then this brings the question, what is the heart? This is essentially the thing that the mind is solving for and the emotions are pointing to. Generally, it has this kind of deeper, fulfilling sense of purpose in it. Other than that, it becomes very personal in nature to kind of try to describe. So what this will eventually look like for the individual is there be a point at which they start to decide that their fear or insecurity is not as important as something else. This something else is generally going to be something more positive, more easygoing, fun, relaxed, and they'll start to now risk their fear or being terrified of the event for a little bit of growth. So they might be terrified of water and then slowly start to, drink water, start to play with water, start to put their feet in the water, and then start to swim in the water. And each time they're risking the ability to be fearful or triggered or afraid of something or risk being judged or humiliated. However, they are still pushing against that resistance and moving closer to their thing that is going to be more restorative to them, which is going to be the ability of swimming. They've probably always wanted to swim, and that is important to them, and they're now ready to risk the dangers, if you will, of that thing to accomplish the greater thing, which is the experience of swimming, which is really the experience of overcoming a large challenge. This becomes very important. Therefore, they're willing to risk that fear for their heart, what they kind of feel is right for them to be able to grow. This is a lot easier to see for the practitioner, a lot harder to explain, but this is generally going to be the case. The thing that really makes the person whole is always what the emotions and mind are solving for, so that the body can have the physical experience, so that it can be repeated in different ways, in different realities. So that is the only way to kind of quantify that risking of the heart. Also, this can be shown in the sense of the midlife crisis. So somebody eventually gets to the point where they're willing to risk their career or achievement for something that seems to be a little bit more fulfilling to the individual. This is not particularly true. This isn't just a way of saying I've put up with a whole bunch of stuff I dislike, so now I'm going to do exactly what I do like. This is still missing the whole heart element, but it is a large shift in which somebody's giving up kind of what they have for something that seems to be better for them or more fulfilling. In the balance between these two outcomes, we're generally going to find the heart element, what is missing in the person as opposed to externally, that is going to be more fulfilling for them, and therefore they're going to risk their worldly things for this inner kind of goodness or goodie. So that is the scale that we would use, and that's kind of how it plays out in real life. Thank you very much. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight to how the progression goes with the self-care way of seeking health.